Hello class 9. As you can see here, this is your second poem, Wind, that is given in your book Beehive. It is written by Subramanya Bharti. It is translated from the Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan. So remember this, that this poem is written by Subramanya Bharti, but it is translated from Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan, as Subramanya Bharti has written it in Tamil language. Alright. There's a box given down here in your books. You can see here about Subramanya Bharti and A.K. Ramanujan. You can read it. Like, Subramanya Bharti is a great Tamil poet, famous for his patriotism in the pre-independence era. And A.K. Ramanujan is a Kannada and English poet, well known for his translation of classical and modern poetry. Alright, so this is given about these two poets. Now, before starting this poem, I want you all to know the rhyme scheme and literary devices that is used here in this poem. Now, see here, literary devices and rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme is that the entire poem is in free verse. It is written in free verse. Alright. Then see the first one, first literary device, that is anaphora. I discussed about anaphora in your last poem also, that when a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines, or it simply means repetition of certain words. Like if you can see in lines 2, 3 and 4, it begins with don't. Then lines 6, 7 and 8, it begins with you, and lines 9, 10 and 11 has word crumbling a lot of time. Alright. Then our second is personification. Again, I told you about personification in your last poem also, that something that is not human is given human characteristic. Like wind. The wind is not human, but in this poem we will read that it has some human characteristic. So wind is personified throughout the poem. In lines 5, 6, 7 and 8, you is used for wind. And in lines 12 and 13, the poet talks to the wind as if it is human being. Alright. Do we talk to non-living thing? No. But here the poet talks to the wind as it is human being, which shows personification. Then our third is repetition. Repetition. Crumbling is repeated many times to lay emphasis. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak. Why do we use repetition of a word? To give it more emphasis. Alright. Then see the fourth one, that is alliteration. The repetition of a consonant sound or letters in close connection. Like W here you can see in wind, then winnows, then won't, want. You can see W is repeated here. So you can see this W consonant is repeated in close connection. Then our fifth is symbolism. Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. Here in this poem, wind is a symbol and it refers to the challenges in our life. Alright. Now let's start our poem. Before starting the poem, I want to give you the introduction to the poem. We all know that wind is a natural phenomena. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described, and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the difficulties of life and says that the weak people break down, but stronger people emerges out of this difficult condition. The poem gives us an important message that we should be mentally tough, physically strong in order to survive the hardship of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. We must make these destructive forces our friends. With our strength and determination. Alright, so in this poem, wind, the destructive power of wind is compared with the difficulties of our life. Alright, that is the symbolism. And you can see the word don't here. Then you can see you. These are anaphora. Alright. Now let's start our poem. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutter of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. In these lines, the poet is talking to the wind. Can you talk to wind? No. So it shows the poet is treating it as a human being. So it is personification. He asked the wind to come softly. So he is saying that the wind should not be very strong. It should be soft. Then he says that the wind is very powerful. It is destructive. It breaks the shutters of the windows and scatters the papers. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf, they fall down. Here the poet is describing the power of the wind. We can understand by these things the power is too much. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it has done. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, they just break down. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as young child, and he is saying that it should come softly, just like small child does. In the later part of this poem, you will see that the wind is destructive, just like youth. Like when you are becoming young, your energy is more. So just like that, just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence and destruction. So in same wise, the wind is also turning young and it is creating more destruction. But in the initial stage, we are just talking to the wind to come softly like a child does. I hope this is clear. And after wind, what comes? Rain. So after it, there was rain again. And this wind, this destructive power of wind is making fun of weaker people, that they just break down, they just fall down. Alright, this is clear. Now let's read the next line. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. Here the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles. So this repetition of this crumbling is showing us repetition. I told you about it. So the writer is saying that when wind is very powerful, it is very strong, it leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall down, doors which are weak, they fall, the beams on which the roof of the buildings are supported, they also fall. All the wooden structures fall, all bodies of people fall, animals, lives, heart. So he is saying that everything crumbles or crushes down, break down. Everything that is weak, they just break down. Here the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any difficulties or challenges in life, he breaks down and falls. Like these weaker houses, doors and all these, they break down. So here there is a symbolism. The destructive forces of wind is compared to the difficulties that a weak person has in his life. I hope this much is clear. Now let's read the next line. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. This line is very important. Winnows means to blow grain free of chaff. You know, the grains, they have to be free of that chaff, the covering, they have to be separated from that. Here the poet is addressing the wind as wind god. You can see here it is given in this line, it is compared with the wind god. He is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows. Winnows means it just removes all the people, and those people who are weak, they just fall down and get crushed. So here the poet is comparing between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grains from the chaff, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. Just like we remove the chaff from the grains, similarly the weak people are separated from the strong people by the wind god. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. So automatically the stronger things, the stronger house or stronger building, they just stay like whatever the way it was. So the weaker and the stronger will get separated. Alright, I hope this part is clear. Now let's read the next part. He won't do what you tell him. So let's build strong homes. Let's join the door firmly, practice to firm the body, make the heart steady fast. The poet wants us to make friends with the wind, that is with the difficulties in our life. He says that the problems will not listen to us. They are not going to listen us. Do you think they are going to listen us? No. They will come. So we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build strong house and close the doors of our house firmly so that wind cannot get in, or so that the difficulties can't get in. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and heart firm to face these difficult challenges. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We will not feel that they are troublesome. So in these lines, the poet is telling us to be strong enough to face the problems that is there in our life. Alright, we don't have to be weak, we have to be strong. Alright, now let's read the last 4 lines. Don't do this and the wind will be friend with us. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. In these lines, the poet has kept the wind on a pedestal. He is comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. Like we praise our God, we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of the strong wind. When there's strong wind, the weak things will get finished off, and the things that are strong will flourish and grow to become more strong or more stronger. They become stronger. He is giving us a very important message. What is that? We should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and difficulties in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges in our life. And once we are strong enough, we will overcome these challenges. We will become friends with them, and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life, because they help us to become stronger and better day by day. In this poem, The poet is only telling us to be brave enough, to be strong enough to face the difficulties of our life. This poem actually help us to face the difficulties that we are facing in these recent days. Only after after these difficult days we will become more stronger. We will be happier when these days will go. We will become strong. So just stay calm, just make yourself stronger mentally and physically to face this lockdown time also. All right. So this poem is giving a very nice message to be strong and brave to face the difficult or unusual condition of our life. All right. So this finishes our this poem. Just read this poem once again and read all those literary devices. So bye and take care.